You know, folks, as a kid, it's super easy to get disheartened or frustrated. As an adult, it's not quite so easy. But there is one thing that I can think of as an American male or an American adult that is extremely frustrating when it happens. And that thing is this. Not having my vehicle start is one of the most frustrating and inconvenient things that can happen in my life. I'm constantly on the go, I have a busy job, and so when I'm headed somewhere, I am just bumping, I'm out of time, and so I need to get gone at that point in time. And actually, this really happened to me a couple days ago as I was going to work. Got in and it didn't start. I've already diagnosed the problem, but let's get down to brass tacks. What are we talking about today? What I want to talk to you about is a multi-tool from Schrade. This seems like a kind of an odd subject for that, but I have been trying to think about how to share with you guys this product for quite a while. I've been testing it out for about 4 months, and this is one of those things that it comes down to gear layering. I'm a big fan of gear layering. In the intro of this video, you may have seen my EDC/get home bag sitting in the passenger seat. I put that there on purpose as a prop just to kind of get the thought process started here. As far as gear layering, that bag stays in my truck pretty much 24/7. I also use it as an EDC bag, so sometimes I take it into work, sometimes I take it out at the house if I need, like a battery pack, or the list goes on. Anyway, without rambling, because it stays in my truck, it runs the risk of getting stolen. Now, I do cover it up, I do have a way of trying to keep it somewhat hidden or out of sight, out of mind. But the fact remains, it can potentially get stolen. And so with gear layering, I don't put any of my primary gear in there. I usually put secondary stuff, such as this Schrade multi-tool. It is the ST11. Let me go ahead and give you a close-up. But it is very affordable. For a multi-tool with these options, it is about $30 on Amazon right now. It does have fewer tools than your standard multi-tool, or at least the multi-tools I'm used to, but the typical multi-tool that I have purchased in the past is usually around a $100 Leatherman or a Swiss Army tool, something like that. So, for $30, what you get and for how it fits, at least my lifestyle, it fits out perfectly. Well, folks, I had planned on just using this multi-tool to fix my truck. All it needed was a starter solenoid, but I have run into some issues. A lot of the connectors are so corroded that I'm destroying things, getting them apart, and I'm honestly having to pull out real tools to get things done. But I want to go ahead and continue on with this theme just because I think it provides a valid perspective and also a good point, or a realistic point of view as to not only what this tool can and cannot do, but also about what multi-tools can and cannot do as well. So anyway, with that being said, while the theme, I guess, of this review has turned into a fail, let's go ahead and get on with how this has excelled in my life and why I think it is actually a very valid and very good tool, especially for me and what I do in information technology. First off, let's go ahead and run down what's on here. First thing you really come to is you have this file. I'll be honest, I don't ever use the file. The only time I use the file on my Leatherman or a multi-tool is when I'm scoring a ferro rod to put a custom handle on it. That is the only time I consistently use a file. I will be honest, in feeling this file, it does feel rather on the cheap side, probably doesn't work very well. But again, I don't use it. Pardon the noise. But if I was to use this as I normally do, it would do the job just fine. Just to also point out, it does have a bottle opener right there. Never really use that either. You do get a Phillips head screwdriver. This is, to eyeball it and to use it, I would say this is just a hair bit bigger than a number 1. I would prefer number 2, but this will work on a number 2 Phillips head screw in a pinch if you really put some downward pressure on it. If you flip it over to the other side, you get your main straight blade, which does come razor sharp, and it does keep an edge okay. It's not the best steel in the world, and I'll be honest, I don't know what the steel is. It is stainless steel. It's not the cheapest I've ever used, but it's also not the most resilient I've ever used either. So just keep that in mind. Then it opens up very easily into a spring-loaded set of pliers, which that is awesome. I love the fact it's spring-loaded. I can use it one-handed without trying to finagle it with my bottom 2 fingers. It does come with clippers in the middle, which do work really well. It does have teeth, so you can grab the head of a bolt or something like that and twist it out. And it also does have the fine teeth on the needle nose portion of the pliers as well. Come back out here to the outside, and you have a flathead screwdriver. To be 100% honest, I hardly ever use this outside of using it as a prying tool at work. I have used this at work just to test it out. And one of the most exciting things about this for me is that this is one of the few multi-tools that fits what I do at work almost without exception. And I'll show you exactly why. These spring-loaded scissors are awesome. Now, I realize a lot of folks are sitting there going, because I've seen the comments in other videos, that I don't ever use scissors on multi-tools. I don't need them. Well, I do. I work in IT, and there are times when, you know, we're wiring in a new server, a new firewall, or something like that, where I make up anywhere from, you know, 1 to 50 Cat5 cable ends in one night, and scissors come in exceptionally handy for me. If somebody else has got the wire strippers and stuff like that. So I use these exclusively for about probably 2 weeks. This is probably the best pair of scissors on a multi-tool that I have used for that purpose. So, you know, it is what it is. These fit me because of the scissors, the pliers, and that pry bar, and also that Phillips head screwdriver. It works out well for what I do in IT and server maintenance and stuff like that. But, you know, everybody's lifestyle is different, so this does work well for me, very well. And one of the most exciting things about this for me, again going back to work, is I don't have to wear a pouch on my belt. There was a day in my life where I was a field technician, and so I had to wear what my wife called a bat belt, and it really wore on me. I had to wear so many different tools on my belt for being out in the field and, you know, repairing cell towers and stuff like that. It was wearing, and I got to where I really didn't like having anything on my belt. And so this comes with a pocket clip, so I can just clip it in my pocket. It's small enough that it's not bothersome, but you know, it's a big enough package to do what I need it to do. The pocket clip is very stout. It doesn't rip up my pants because it's nice and rounded, but it's strong enough to keep it secure in your pocket. And all the edges are nicely rounded, so if you sit down or, you know, get in a confined spot or something, like bend down or, you know, sit weird or something, it doesn't dig in and become painful. Well, folks, as you can see, it'll get the job done, but it's pushing it beyond reasonable capabilities just because how corroded and rusted up some of those bolts are on my truck. Nothing against the tool, but it does kind of show its limitations there a little bit. Again, like I said, the price point on this is about $30 on Amazon. You guys know how Amazon is. The prices change almost on a daily basis, but I checked this morning and it was $31.06. Anyway, if this is something that interests you, you think it might fit your life or your job, there will be a link in the description leading you to the Amazon link that I looked at this morning. Anyway, folks, thank you very much for being here today. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful. If it did, would you please go ahead and hit that thumbs up button for me? I would appreciate it very much. And folks, if you enjoyed this video and you're not a subscriber yet, I invite you to join the team by hitting that subscribe button right down here. And as always, folks, hit that comment section up. Let's talk about this and anything else you'd like to talk about. Thank you very much for being here. I will see you next time. I hope you guys have a great day.